This is Mac OS Ken.
A little impact from Apple's App Store concessions, a raised target from the financial front, and a little bit of TV talk. It is Thursday, the 9th of September, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 20% off your system plus your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring service at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Concessions Apple's offered in the App Store will not hurt Apple's bottom line. That's the thinking of Morgan Stanley analyst Katie Huberty. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note she wrote wherein she said the hit to Apple's earnings per share will be 1 to 2% at worst. Huberty has an overweight rating on Apple shares and a price target of $168. While that is good news for Apple investors, the peace offerings and settlements between Apple and developers won't stop congressional moves against app stores. A couple of weeks ago, Apple announced a proposed settlement with smaller developers. Perhaps the biggest concession offered by Apple was the one that would let developers use communications such as email to share information about payment methods outside of their iOS app. A few days later, Apple also settled with the Japanese government. That settlement included a pledge to let reader apps such as Netflix and Spotify, and who knows, maybe some that actually involve reading. Under terms of the settlement, Apple will let reader apps include an in-app link to their website for users to either set up or manage an account, and sign up using a non-App Store payment method will be possible, according to a piece from Mac Rumors. Maybe they think it's not enough, maybe they just want to look tough. Whatever the reason, a piece from Apple Insider has at least one U.S. senator saying legislation upending app stores run by Apple and Google will go forward. Last month, a bipartisan group of senators introduced the Open App Markets Act. Speaking to Bloomberg, one of the bill's sponsors, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat of Minnesota, said, though Apple has taken some small steps to respond to criticism of its anti-competitive conduct, they did not go nearly far enough. There is growing momentum to pass the Open App Markets Act to finally address Apple and Google's twin monopolies, and I will continue working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to get it done. You didn't ask, but I'll tell you anyway. What annoys me is they're going to point to this as a thing that they got done. In a time of COVID-19, now in its second big year, climate change, a buckling infrastructure, voter suppression laws, and whatever certain states have decided to do this week, they're going to point to making corporate life better for Epic Games and Spotify as a mission accomplished moment. ¿Dónde está mi bourbon? With Apple's next media event just a few days away, one analyst has upped his price target on the company's shares. Barron's has word of a note from Baird analyst William "The Weather Vane" Power. Evolutionary, not revolutionary, is his expectation for iPhone 13. Better battery, better camera, the usual improvements. Quoting his note, rumors regarding satellite connectivity could provide differentiation at some point, though inclusion in this cycle is less clear. In addition to iPhone, we also expect Apple Watch 7, along with other possible updates. Though some are concerned about lengthening upgrade cycles, Power and his people expect the addition of 5G to continue to drive a healthy upgrade opportunity over the next several years. If there's a cloud, it's the potentially tough comparisons between last year's pandemic-boosted sales and this year's second big year. Of course, every cloud has a silver lining. Quoting his note again, while year-over-year comparisons will become more challenging and regulatory pressures could increase, We remain focused on the long-term ecosystem opportunity, coupled with the company's strong profitability and cash flow. We continue to view shares as attractive for long-term oriented investors. Power has a positive rating on Apple shares. He used this week's note to up his price target on the shares from $160 to $170. Apple has said which states in the U.S. will be the first to adopt Apple Wallet for ID. Apple Insider ran a piece last week saying that Arizona and Georgia are first in line to put state-issued driver's licenses in the Wallet app on iPhone and Apple Watch. They will be followed by Connecticut, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Utah. Couldn't give away the contact tracing app, but, that was only going to save lives, not paperwork. No word on when the first 2 states will start, so really no word on the rest. In addition to the various states' adoption, the company says the Transportation Security Administration is also saying welcome aboard to Apple Wallet for ID, enabling selected airport security checkpoints to work with Apple Wallet, according to the report. No word on when that will start either, but it'll be at least a few weeks. Apple Wallet for ID is a feature of iOS 15, and that is coming soon. Fight for the future may mess up your Monday or inspire you, depending on which side of the issue you're on. The issue: Apple's plans to make a hash of the photos you upload to iCloud and check them against hashes for known child sexual abuse material, or CSAM. While Apple has postponed those plans, Fight for the Future would like to see the plan scrapped entirely. In a press release, the organization says it, along with Open Media, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and others, has delivered petitions with roughly 60,000 signatures to Apple. The press release on the delivery says the petitions call on Apple to abandon its plan, which goes against the company's purported commitment to privacy and security, and its history of rejecting backdoors to access content on our phones. Despite Apple's announcement to postpone its rollout of the scanning features, civil rights organizations say they will continue to oppose the company's plan until they fully abandon it, because there is no safe way to conduct on-device content scanning. That is the quote. So, how might that mess up your Monday? Yeah, Fight for the Future says the petition delivery will be followed by a day of protests at Apple stores across the country on Monday, the 13th of September, the day before the Apple event. These events will further highlight the demand for Apple to fully abandon its plan to scan our devices, according to the organization. More news in a moment, but first a word from SimpliSafe, the right way to protect your home. Lights, camera, security. Actually, camera, light, security might make more sense. I've been telling you this week about SimpliSafe's new wireless outdoor security camera. I've told you about its easy installation and how serious they are about the wireless thing. It's got an easy-to-remove, rechargeable battery, so you don't need to worry about an outlet. Just put it where you need it. It's got a motion-activated spotlight built in that'll switch on whenever somebody steps into its sight, and it's got a two-way audio system so you can let prowlers know time to go. Oh, and the camera itself is great. Ultra-wide 140-degree field of view, 1080p HD resolution with an 8x zoom, and all of it folds into the award-winning SimpliSafe system. My SimpliSafe gear was super easy to install. Safety and simplicity, inside and out. That's SimpliSafe. To learn more about the exciting new SimpliSafe wireless outdoor security camera, visit simplisafecom/macOSCan. What's more, SimpliSafe is celebrating this new camera by offering 20% off your entire new system and your first month of monitoring service free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. SIMPLI. Again, that's simplysafe.com/macOSKen. If you will pardon the Yakov-Smirnoffism, these days TV watches you, Apple TV Plus not included. The site TechDirt has condensed a really long report from Common Sense Media. According to that, when it comes to streaming services and protecting viewer privacy, there's Apple TV Plus, and that's it. Quoting Common Sense Media, our privacy evaluations of the top 10 streaming apps indicate that all streaming apps, except Apple TV Plus, have privacy practices that put consumers' privacy at considerable risk, including selling data, sending third-party marketing communications, displaying targeted advertisements, tracking users across other sites and services, and creating advertising profiles for data brokers. Remember when they used to say, if you're not paying, you're not the customer, you're the product? Yeah, it turns out the same is true if you are paying. In its pros and cons list for Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, and Netflix, none of which are free, Common Sense Media says the policy for each says it sells users' data, targets users with advertisements, and tracks users on other apps and services across the internet. That was obviously in the cons section. As for streaming hardware, Apple was once again the only device of 5 to get a passing grade from the firm. On the pro side for Apple TV, the organization says Apple says they don't sell users' data to third parties, don't display targeted advertisements, and don't track users on other apps and services across the internet. Apple TV did not get a 100% score though. That's because they don't say how they protect student data privacy if the product is used in K-12 schools and districts, according to Common Sense Media. And finally today, Apple TV Plus is hitting kids programming hard this fall. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Wednesday announcing not 1, not 2, but 3 kids series set to premiere by the middle of October. First up, Wolf Boy and the Everything Factory. The release says the 10-episode animated epic follows Wolf Boy, an imaginative oddball who discovers a strange realm at the center of the earth where fantastical beings called sprites create things for the natural world on the surface. Clouds, trees, rabbits, dreams, hiccups, memories, time, everything. With his newfound sprite friends, Wolf Boy learns that not only can he use the creative energy of the Everything Factory to make his wild imagination come to life, but that he is destined to play a central role in the age-old battle between the forces of creation and destruction. Wolf Boy soon comes to realize that being different is what makes him special, and ultimately that it's the oddballs and dreamers who change the world. I know, spoilers. Still, if you're going to sit your kid down in front of this, you might want to know what you're setting them down in front of. All 10 episodes of the show drop on Friday, the 24th of September. Next in line, Get Rolling with Otis. Based on the Penguin Random House book series by Lauren Long, the release says the show welcomes young viewers to Long Hill Dairy Farm, home to Otis the tractor and all his friends. Otis may be little, but he has a big heart. Whenever he sees a friend in need, he hits the brakes, asks how they're feeling, and rolls into action to help. You and yours can get rolling with Otis on Friday, the 8th of October. And last in line, Puppy Place. Based on the best-selling books from Scholastic, the release says Puppy Place chronicles the adventures of dog-loving siblings Charles and Lizzie Peterson and the puppy pals they foster in search of forever homes. Each of the 8 live-action episodes tells the story of a puppy who finds his or her way to the Peterson family. Charles and Lizzie, whose different approaches complement, inspire, and occasionally confound one another, do whatever it takes to find a happy, loving home for each and every dog. Discovering what makes each puppy special offers a unique perspective that helps the pair overcome their own individual hurdles. You can find Puppy Place on Friday, the 15th of October, on Apple TV+. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 20% off your system plus your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring service at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.